Hi everyone, it's Fuban Choo Choo Cosplay. Welcome back to another custom doll. This time we are going to be working on Victor from Yuuri on Ice. Victor started out as a hunter doll from the Ever After High collection and a Ken suit. I went ahead and fitted him with the suit to make sure it was going to be okay because of the cross branding, and it turned out that it was, so I ended up using that as a base. I did remove the head, and he has some strange flocking on the side below the longer hair. If you rub that with some acetone, it will come right off and be smooth as something that's really smooth. After the head was cleaned up, I used a seam ripper to take apart the jacket. It needed a lot of alteration because it was quite different from Victor's skating costume. Then I found myself using the tiny bib that was within the shirt actually on the doll. I took off the bow tie and cut it a deep V-neck, so we ended up with something like this. Next I cut out my pattern pieces and I cut them out of the chiffon. Chiffon is really hard to sew, and before I could start putting the jacket together I had to include a seal around the edge so it wouldn't fray. This is me assembling the jacket finally, and that glue look does eventually disappear. As I was working on this, I realized that it was too big for the doll because I had included the area that the Velcro was included on for the initial Ken suit, and that gave me a lot of extra material. So I ended up pinning it to the doll multiple times and having to edit it by cutting it and then re-sewing. Now, at this point, I am working on the lapels for the jacket. I had taken a heat bond material and attached it to black fabric with my iron. Then I drew out the pattern of it and I just trimmed it out and used my flat iron to go ahead and attach it directly to the doll. Now, what you're seeing now is I am using a gold trim piece I had from a different project to create the shoulder pieces, and I'm just attaching them with some fabric glue. Now, at this point, I was really happy with the doll. I had painted his hands so it looked like he was wearing gloves, and I was getting to the point of attaching the chains. All of the chains were attached with super glue, and I cut them with wire cutter. Everything in that particular area came from Hobby Lobby, as did the tiny pearls that I'm cutting out now. These are going to be the buttons for the chains. So I cut out what I needed from the set of pearls. As you can see, there's quite a few of them on this sheet. And I'm using a gold tester paint that's intended for like model cars to go ahead and give them a bright golden sheen. And I got too much paint at that point, so I had to go ahead and get some off of the brush. And I left them on the sheet so I could just dab the paint on and let them dry as they were sitting there. So now I'm taking a pair of tweezers and using fabric glue to go ahead and attach them to the doll. And now I'm using a couple of pieces of fabric to build up some bulk to create the cuffs at the ends of the jacket that he's wearing. Those are all going to get attached with fabric glue as well. In case you can't tell, that's probably my favorite tool for working on dolls. It works on everything from fabric to hair. Now, I'm afraid to work on his face, but I am going to get there. But please enjoy these terrible photoshops while you wait. Thanks, and have a great one.